I'm Denali White, and I am with Wenatchee for Palestine, and I'm also part of the No Data Centers NCW, and we are here because there is an AI Expo happening right behind me, and this AI Expo is sponsored by Microsoft and Sabi Corporation and a bunch of other kind of tech companies, and we in this community have a lot of problems with these companies and with data centers and with AI. Sabi right now is trying to get a permit for 15 more diesel generators. They just applied, and there's Ecology is going to have a public hearing on that on August 18th. So the community mobilized, and a lot of people expressed that they do not want more diesel generators. We are already considered an overburdened community. We don't need more air pollution, especially with all the smoke going on. So we're mad about Sabi. And of course, Microsoft here, as my poster says, just signed a 20-year deal with Chevron to power a data center in Texas. And both Chevron and Microsoft actually are complicit in the genocide of Palestine, because Chevron supplies nearly 50% of the power in Israel, and Microsoft has like a whole bunch of contracts with the Israeli military and the government, and both of those companies are very involved in the genocide. So that is why Wenatchee for Palestine is involved in this event, and that's why we're against Microsoft here. And both for climate reasons and because we oppose genocide. So those are kind of the reason why. Oh, and Sabi Corporation also has they lease space to ICE and DHS in Tukwila. And so they've been being protested for months because they were trying to build a concentration camp in Tukwila, and the Tukwila community mobilized and passed a moratorium. So preventing the construction of new detention centers within Tukwila, but Sabi is still leasing land to ICE and DHS because the moratorium does not include office spaces. So that's why those two companies, both which are sponsors of this event, and of course both of them are actively involved in Wenatchee. Sabi has a data center in East Wenatchee. Microsoft has a data center in East Wenatchee and another one in Malaga. They're clearly trying to cement themselves as part of this community, and they, I'm sure, are going to try to build more data centers. And so we are trying right now to mobilize to see if we can build momentum to pass a moratorium here in Chelan and Douglas County to prevent more data centers from coming in, because these things are so energy intensive. Just those 3 data centers, the power usage or power needs of those 3 data centers is equivalent to roughly 45% of the total hydroelectric power in Chelan and Douglas County from just 3 data centers. So we quite literally cannot afford to host them. And regardless of if that energy comes from the dams or not, if they get it from the dams, then other people getting energy from the dams have to get it somewhere else. If they don't get it from the dams, we see what happens. You get Chevron, you get diesel generators, and more kind of polluting uses of power like gas that will make our wildfires worse and make summers worse here in Wenatchee.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. And so are you, in your estimation, with this new data center going in Malaga and even more, hopefully planned in the future, are you thinking that that's going to make the rates go up for our power here if they're using hydroelectric dam, the power from the PUDs?
It could make the rates go up. Right now, the PUDs are saying that it won't, but in Quincy, they have seen rates go up. And so I guess I personally feel not super inclined to trust that promise, because looking at other areas, including in Washington State, with similarly structured PUDs, that rates have gone up. So,
yeah. And this whole TIF thing is a part of this conversation too. It seems like our elected leaders are probably more interested in who's going to get the revenue from the tax increase from the data centers coming in. and there hasn't been any conversation about a moratorium. How do you propose to get them to discuss that, entertain that idea, even listen to that idea?
Well, we're hopeful that maybe if we build enough momentum and kind of build this group up so that there's enough people who are passionate about this and kind of clearly willing to, go talk to elected officials, come to these public meetings, that sort of thing, that we could put enough pressure to get a moratorium. We're obviously not there yet. We're a brand new group. We just started, the No Data Centers NCW group just started last month. So we're still kind of getting off the ground, and right now trying to just sort of let people know that this group exists, that there's people in town mobilizing against data centers, and we have a whole bunch of people like kind of already from different groups, different backgrounds, wanting to be part of the No Data Centers NCW. Like Wenatchee for Palestine is kind of partnering with them, and for this event, Wenatchee for Immigrant Justice is partnering with No Data Centers NCW. So it's kind of there's, I think, growing momentum in the community in terms of all these different people realizing they have all these different reasons to want to oppose data centers and to be against generative AI and specifically these companies.
Yeah, yeah. Is there anything else that you think the community should know about what you're doing out here today, and how can people learn more about your organization, get involved if they want to?
Yeah, there's a Facebook page for No Data Centers NCW, and there's also a link tree that's just No Data Centers NCW. And that has a link to you can send a letter to our elected officials demanding moratorium. There's also a link to the ecology page where you could come to the public hearing. There's an informative zine that has information about a lot of the stuff kind of I alluded to, plus a lot more. It's also lots of sources, so people who are kind of curious about these things can find out more. There are fact sheets. We partnered with Washington AI Resistance last month to put on this educational event on July 11, and so they've been helping sort of supply information. You can actually watch a recording of that July 11 event on the Linktree, and that's probably the kind of the hub for it. There's also this next Sunday, there's a meeting for No Data Centers NCW at the library. So come to that, yeah. And we're going to try to make sure there are other opportunities for people to kind of plug in and kind of stay informed on sort of what's going on, like say we attempt at installing the diesel generators, that sort of thing. So we want to make sure that people around know what's going on, because there is a massive lack of transparency. And actually, one of the data centers, Microsoft's East Wenatchee data center, we don't even know how many megawatts. It's just an estimate. So there are a lot of kind of, I would consider, vital information that the public should know about these facilities is not really made public. And the PUDs are kind of evasive about where exactly the power is coming from. And so, yeah, we're trying to do our best to make up for the lack of transparency while demanding more transparency from this industry, because they're kind of trying to slip these things past us. A lot of people at Pride, when Wenatchee for Palestine promoted the event, we spoke to people at our table, and a lot of people did not know we even had data centers in the area.
Huh.
So there's just kind of a lack of awareness right now, and that's one of the things that we're trying to kind of work on, and part of the reason why we're out here for this event.
Yeah, great. Well, thank you, Denali, for talking to me today.
Yeah, thank you.
And explaining why you're here.